What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for coming. I'm excited to be here. Train hard. I'm ready. I'm ready to give y'all a show. So come on March 22nd, we're gonna put some fireworks. I'm fighting a tough guy. I took this fight because I felt like he's a tough opponent, and I'm ready to get the win. But most of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank PBC, TGB Promotions. I'm ready to go out there and do my thing, so I'm excited to be here. I'm happy. I train hard. I want to thank my team. I want to thank Manny Robles, Renard Safo, Edgar, and Matias, the strength coach. Hey, I ain't much of a talker, so y'all gonna see me put the man together come March 22nd. So let's go.
All right, now we'll go to his opponent. This man is coming in with a record of 16 victories, 13 by knockout, opposite of just 1 defeat. He is still one of the most exciting rising young contenders in the middleweight division. He's only 21 years old, out of Arizona, who burst onto the scene with 3 impressive victories back in 2023. And he is now looking to bounce back after a very close decision defeat against top contender Tyrone Davis from last June. Please help me welcome Elijah Garcia.
How's it going, guys? I'm feeling good, feeling ready. I'm excited. I want to say thanks to my team, Tom Brown, Anthony, Santos Boxing, and of course, all my family. We put a lot of work into this camp, and I'm excited to get back in the ring. I know my opponent, he's very experienced, and it's going to be a tough fight, but I prepared, so I appreciate you guys.
That is our opening bout, PBC on Prime Video. Now let's go to our co-main event. Now to introduce 16 victories, 9 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 2 draws. From Morón, Buenos Aires, Argentina, and now fighting out of Los Angeles, California. He is a veteran contender looking for a career best victory this upcoming Saturday night. Please help me welcome Guido Emmanuel Schramm.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchas gracias a todos por venir. Quiero contarles que estoy listo para esta gran oportunidad este sábado. Agradecerle a mi promotor Samsung Boxing, a BBC por la oportunidad, a mi gran equipo de trabajo, Leonel Lara, Josué y Andrés. Quiero decirles que estoy listo para esta gran pelea del sábado. Estoy contento y orgulloso porque me encantan los desafíos y esta es una gran oportunidad para salir a demostrar de que estoy hecho. Así que el sábado solamente vamos a salir a ganar. Muchas gracias.
Thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate you all coming, and I want to let you know that I came here to win this Saturday night. I want to thank PBC and Samsung Boxing and my entire team for making this possible. I'm ready, I had a great training camp, and I can guarantee you that on Saturday night I'm going to be more than ready to come out with my hand raised. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Martin Ricard, with the translation. Now let's go to his opponent, who is very well known, 22 victories and just 1 defeat with 18 knockouts, a rising Mexican star fighting out of Casa Grande, Arizona. He has earned back-to-back stoppage victories, including an 8th round TKO over Jason Rosario back on February 1st. And now he is looking for a quick turnaround. Please help me welcome Jesus Mono Ramos Jr.
What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? I'm just excited to be back. It was a quick turnaround. I just fought February 1st. So I'm blessed to be here with the opportunity, like I said, a quick turnaround. And just looking to stay active this whole year and from big fights. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
That is our co-main event. on Saturday, March 22nd. But now let's go to our main event. Accompanied by head trainer Ahmad Mickens. Please help me welcome a man with 23 victories, 11 by knockout, just one defeat. He is the WBO number 5 and WBC number 14 ranked contender. He is fighting out of Stamford, Connecticut, entering this fight on a 6-fight winning streak. He's got the biggest opportunity of his life in front of him, and he is looking to make the most of it. Please help me welcome the gift, Chordale Booker.
I just want to thank Al Heyman. I want to thank Team Fundora, Simpson, Tom Brown, the Hubers, Team PBC, everybody who helped put this together, for helping me get here. I truly am super grateful for this opportunity, but I'm just not happy to be here. I'm come here to win, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm going to put on. Happy my city here too. Yep. Everybody showed up here, so that's pretty cool. You know, travel all the way to the West Coast for me. It's going to be a great night. Everybody enjoy it.
Thank you, Chordale. But now let's go to the champion who he has to get through. A man that is 21 victories, 13 by knockout, opposite of 1 defeat and 1 draw. He is the reigning WBC and WBO 154-pound world champion. He won his titles over a very grueling decision victory in an excellent fight over Tim Zhu last March. He is a native of Coachella, California, and he has been in numerous memorable battles. Neither fight has ever been born when this guy steps into the ring. Please help me welcome the towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora.
Thank you guys for being here. I'd like to thank Samson Promotions, Al Heyman, PBC, Lucito. Thank you guys for getting this fight for me. Thank you, the Booker team as well. You know, it's been a while since I fought last time, but you know, we're ready to put on a great show again and give the fans what they've been waiting for. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. And once again, I want to remind fans, please send in your questions through the live chat. We're going to have Kinsey come up a little bit later on, and hopefully one of your questions will be selected to ask for any one of these fighters. So feel free to keep sending them in on the chat, and we'll get to those momentarily. But first, we'll start and open up our Q&A portion of the press conference, starting with our opening bout as we see Elijah Garcia against Terrell Gachet. I'll start with you first, Elijah, as we look towards Saturday night, March 22nd. You had a massive 2023 with 3 impressive victories. You were certainly on the rise, but then you suffered a tough split decision loss to Kyron Davis in June last year. What did you learn from that defeat, and how are you going to apply it moving forward as you look towards Saturday night?
You know, I had a loss is a loss, no excuses. I came out here to camp, and I got a new head coach, and we did everything correct. You know, I did nothing but worry about boxing. So, you know, you know, I lost. It is what it is. Nothing to do now. I'm prepared Saturday, and you know, that's the only thing that's on my mind.
Now you're still 21 years old. You got a lot of career ahead of you. Coming off a loss, a lot of fighters would take on an easier challenge, and you're deciding to go over and take on an Olympian, a very tough veteran, a guy that has been in the ring with former champions. Why did you decide to take this fight against Terrell Gachet when you easily probably could have had an easier opponent?
Yeah, I mean, he was the only opponent they had offered me. You know, they said, oh, you know, if you want to fight, here's your guy. And I mean, I guess I could have said no, but I'm here to get better. I want to be a world champion one day, and you know, Terrell's very experienced, very talented, and he knows, you know, how to control the ring. So I lost to a boxer. You know, Terrell's another great boxer. I just want to get better. That's the biggest thing. If I fight some nobody, you know, how's that going to prepare me to win a world title?
Back over to you, Terrell. You know, as we mentioned earlier, you've taken on so many world champions throughout your career, and you have shown yourself well in those fights, even if you've come up short in some of them. Guys like Arizlan Aguilar, Tim Zhu, Carlos Adames. Where does Garcia rank amongst those names that are on your resume?
I got a lot of experience, but each fight, I can't really compare him to them. He's younger, he got his own style, and I'm just prepared for Elijah Garcia come Saturday. But my experience will show come Saturday for sure.
Now over to you, Elijah. You said, you obviously have a new voice in your camp in Bob Santos, who's a phenomenal trainer. What has that experience been like throughout this training camp and adding him to the mix?
Bob's the best. All he cares about is winning, and he's there every day with me in the gym. He's doing the most. He's making sure he's on top of everything, and that's what I needed. My dad was fantastic. My dad was a great coach. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be where I am right now. But it's just time to take it to another level. Bob has lots of experience, and he knows the game, and I'm just ready, man. I've been here for a while. I'm excited. I'm prepared, and I'm going to give the fans a great fight.
Now, back over to you, Terrell. You said that earlier a few weeks ago that Elijah may have made a mistake taking this fight against you, especially coming off a loss. What is he going to learn Saturday night when he steps into the ring with you?
I stand on that. But like I said, I respect him for taking the fight because real fighters, we don't pick and choose. We just fight who are available. So, this was a mistake. But I'm gonna go out there and just show I'm ready. I'm in shape. I feel good right now. I feel real good.
Back to you, Elijah. He says this was a mistake. You probably shouldn't have taken this fight against them. How do you respond to that? And how do you get back onto the winning track against Garcia?
We'll see. You know what I mean? We're not in the ring. You say whatever you want, to be honest. But it's gonna be much different once we're in the ring. A win over him is, I don't know. I'll fight whoever. Fight whoever.
Well, you heard it. It's a man of few words. Very simple, straightforward. You love to hear it. So, one final question to each of you. I'll start with you, Terrell. Prediction, Saturday night, March 22nd. How does the outcome play out in your mind?
My mind, just a dominant performance and coming out with my hand raised. Like I said, I respect him, but I train hard and I'm going off, my training, and I'm ready.
And over to you, Elijah. You seem focused, determined, ready to get back onto the winning track. What's your prediction for Saturday, March 22nd?
Definitely a win. Like he said, I respect him too. A lot of these opponents are the road gangsters, man. These guys come in, on the B side, they got to take a hard fight. And, I know on the A side, but, it's still a tough ass fight, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just here to get better, and that's the biggest thing. And my prediction is I'm going to win.
That's what you love to see from both men. That's our opening bout. You can see on Prime Video. It's not going to be an easy fight for either man. I'm looking forward to seeing how things play out Saturday. Now let's move over to our co-main event, Jesus Mono Ramos against Guido Emmanuel Schramm. And I'll start with you, Jesus. Long time no see. February 1, we saw you take on Jason Rosario in a dominant performance. And you decided to jump right back into the ring just 6 weeks after that. Why the quick turnaround? And you said this was going to be a big year. Is this how you envision your year starting out?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like activity is really important, and I feel like it's overlooked a lot now in boxing. But the greats, they would fight often back in the day, and that's something that I'm trying to bring back. I'm trying to fight often, stay in the gym, stay ready, and it just helps. It helps improve your game, and it helps stay sharp. It's a big difference, and I feel really good.
Now, we've seen since your defeat, your controversial loss to Erickson Lubin, that you've scored back-to-back TKO victories. Has your mindset changed since that defeat, where you are upping the aggression. You're looking for that knockout. You're really trying to put guys away so you don't have that situation where you're leaving it into judges' hands anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if it only made me better, I grew a lot from it. I learned. It was a blessing in disguise in a way. Yeah, like I said, I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm demonstrating that in each fight. You know, just different wrinkles and then different arsenal in my game. Yeah, I'm just getting better every time.
Now let's go over to you, Guido. As you know, you took this fight on short notice. It was supposed to be Kevin Salgado, but he ended up falling out of this fight, and you jumped right at the opportunity. Why did you take this fight on short notice?
Bueno, Guido, tomaste esta pelea, la aceptaste con muy poco tiempo de aviso. Era Kevin Salgado el que se suponía que iba a pelear, pero vos no dudaste en tirarte la pileta y aceptarla. ¿Por qué fuiste tan certero con esa decisión? ¿Por qué la aceptaste sin dudarlo?
Porque estoy listo.
Because I'm ready.
All right, very short and sweet. Now I know you said that you wanted Ramos. You've been wanting Ramos for a while. Why? What is it about this matchup that you liked?
Bueno, venís teniendo a Ramos en la mira hace rato, más allá de que te enteraste hace poco de esta pelea. ¿Por qué querías pelear tanto con él? ¿Qué es lo que te seduce tanto de pelear contra un oponente de ese calibre?
Porque me encantan los desafíos y me gusta pelear con los mejores. Solamente eso, y lo veía en un posible radar muy cerca mío. Así que yo estoy para estas grandes peleas y sin dudarlo sabía que en algún momento la vida y el boxeo nos iba a cruzar.
Because I like to be challenged, and I like the fact that I'm gonna fight against a great opponent like Ramos. I'm made for these kind of moments. I know what I can do, and I want to shine under the bright lights because I am made to be a champion, and I want to prove that to everybody on Saturday night.
Now over to you, Jesus. I know you don't want to overlook Schramm here in this fight, but it's got to be hard, especially when you got the unified champ to your left in a division. He's got some titles that you would like. Obviously, he has to get through Booker. These two guys are going to be going head-to-head in the main event. Is that a fight, without overlooking this current fight, is that potential to want to face the winner of that fight?
Definitely, man. I'm actually excited right now that we take the picture so I can kind of see how tall he really is, you know. It's something I've been thinking about, but I can't overlook Schramm, you know, and obviously he's got a tough opponent as well. He's got Cordell Booker is hungry, coming to win. So we both got to take care of our job, you know, do our job Saturday night, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens from there.
All right, now I'll go over to you, Schramm. Prediction, Saturday, you are certainly the underdog. Took this fight on short notice, but like you said, you are looking for a career best victory. How does Saturday night, March 22nd, inside Michelob Ultra Arena, play out?
Estás buscando este sábado por la noche que sea la noche que defina tu carrera. ¿Cuál es tu vaticinio para el resultado?
Voy a salir a ganar, cueste lo que cueste. Estoy preparado para lo que sea que suba al ring.
I'm going to come out to win no matter what. I'm going to be ready for whatever outcome there is when I get into the ring.
All right, now over to you, Jesus. Prediction, Saturday night, just 6 weeks after you had a stoppage victory, you're back in the ring. How does it all go down?
If you guys thought I looked sharp on February 1st, I'm going to look even sharper this Saturday, and I'm going to put a great performance.
All right, that is our co-main event. Jesus Mono Ramos, Guido Emmanuel Schramm from Michelob Ultra, March 22nd, this Saturday. You do not want to miss it. Now let's hear from our main event fighters, Sebastian the Tyrant Inferno Fundora against the Gift Chordale Booker for the unified WBC and WBO Super Welterweight World titles. They are on the line, and I'll start with you, Sebastian. You know, you are coming off nearly a 1-year layoff, and that was not due by choice on your end. You are certainly, we're known to seeing you active and in the ring. You know, what is that feeling now like to be just 2 days away from stepping into the ring, defending those world titles?
It hasn't really been a layoff, maybe a layoff to the public, but I've been working this whole time. We went back into the gym back in May of last year, so we've been working, waiting for this date. Now we have Booker this Saturday, so we're ready for whatever he comes with.
Now, back over to you, Booker. You have expressed a few weeks earlier, you've been in interviews. This is the opportunity of a lifetime for you to become a world champion. Do you feel or sense any added pressure with the weight of the world titles at stake going into this fight?
There's no pressure from anybody in the public. Nobody giving me a chance to win. So there's no pressure with that. It's the pressure I put on myself, and I want to bring this back home for myself and my community. That's the only pressure I have in this fight.
Over to you, Fundora. We have seen you in fight of the year type fights. You know, when we saw you against Erickson Lubin, and then we've also seen you be very technical when you defeated Tim Tszyu last year. What is this fight against Booker going to require from you?
I think it's just gonna take the best Fundora to win this fight. You know, Chordale's a top contender in this division, so it's up to me to how I want to win this fight and how I'm gonna do it.
Now back to you, Booker. You are certainly taking on someone that has the most unique stature we've ever seen in this division. How have you been able to prepare for something like that when you're taking on a guy that's 6'6", has a ridiculous reach, and preparing for this fight?
It's been tough to prepare for it, to be honest with you. I had to bring in sparring partners who were taller than him, some who were shorter, because he has a unique style and unique height. He's the only 6'6" guy ever at 154, so that was tough. You know, you can't find somebody his weight who's his height, so I had to bring in guys who were heavy as well. But I made sure I got the best work possible to be prepared. But you know, I can't say anything else. Like if there was more Fundoras, there would be world champion, right?
Exactly. There certainly is only one Sebastian Fundora, and now let's go over to your trainer. I mean, if you want to elaborate, you've been with him since the start. He is now fighting a world title. Ahmad Mickens, you know, what have you guys been doing in camp to prepare for the biggest opportunity of his career ahead of him?
Well, I mean, his preparation started way before we got the call for this fight, right? So, you know, I'm proud of this guy because it's been like a 15-year journey. He's had a lot of, you know, adversity and a lot of, you know, victories. But, you know, everything he's been through prepared him for this moment. And I have no doubt we did not, I mean, although we're appreciative to PBC for this opportunity, we didn't come here just to, you know, because we're happy for this moment. We came here to win. And everything he's been through in his life prepared him for this moment. He's prepared.
And now we'll send it back over to Sebastian's head trainer and father, Freddie Fundora. Obviously, you must be extremely proud. Your son, one of the best fighters in the world, a unified world champion. Your daughter, one of the best fighters in the world. And you've been able to be a part of that throughout. What has that been like for you, seeing both of your kids become the best fighters in the world?
It's pretty much the fruit of our labor. It's very simple. You work, and you gain something out of it.
Now, we've seen the videos of you guys. You're in camp, you're at the house, you are constantly working, and as Sebastian alluded to, yes, it's been a little over a year layoff, a little bit less than a year layoff, but he's constantly been working. How have you been able to keep the focus and now making his first world title defense going in against Chordale Booker?
Well, we don't do training camps. This is our lifestyle for us. Because that's all we do, box, and box.
Over to you, Sebastian. You've been used to on the hunt for these titles. Now, this is your first time defending these world titles. And everyone always says it's much harder to stay on top. What is your mindset now that you are the champion?
I'm very happy. Now we have a lot more opportunities, a lot more fights to be made now that we have these titles. Now they want to fight us because we have these titles. So I'm very excited for the future and what's to come.
back to you, Booker. You have expressed that you are the underdog. There's not many people picking you in this fight. What would a victory do for your career if you're able to defeat Sebastian Fundora and become the WBC and WBO champ?
It changed my life. It won't change my career. It's gonna change my life. I've never been able to just only box. It's never been my life. I always had to work. And I was boxing full time and working full time. I guess you would call me a part-time boxer, but I don't think you could make it here if you were a part-time fighter. I just did both things full time, and that's what I'm gonna show this weekend. I'm a full-time fighter and full-time worker. I put in 40 hours on both.
Well, as you can hear, both men are excited, but now it's time to turn things over to Kinsey, who has a couple of questions from fans watching at home on the PBC YouTube page. So we'll bring up Kinsey to ask some of these fighters what the fans at home are thinking.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we've got some really fun questions that were submitted from the fans. I want to start with Fundora. One that you probably get often is, was boxing the only sport for you? Did you ever consider basketball, or did you ever play any other sports?
Boxing is the only thing I like. I only like boxing. I only like punching people and moving around, like I'm dancing, and that's the only thing I like.
So you never played any other sports growing up?
I never played any sports. No.
Okay, good to know. Glad we got that off the table. So what is it like now? Obviously, you and your sister had an incredible year last year. What is it like now with the gym environment, with 2 world champions in that gym?
It's good. It's a good environment. You know, she unified all the titles last year. She's undisputed. She's the youngest undisputed champion in the world, so, you know, ever in history. So give her a round of applause for that. You know, it keeps me motivated. Because, you know, now I gotta catch up. I'm halfway there, but now I gotta catch up. So, you know, it's just a good environment, and we're both trained under my father. So it's just we motivate each other, and you know, we're shooting for the stars.
It's beautiful to see, and we're excited to see you defend your title, try to defend your title on Saturday. Now let's go to Booker. You've been through a lot in your life. You've had a lot of ups and downs. What's kept you focused on your big goal, becoming a world champion?
It's the only thing I love being competitive. I'm competitive at everything I do. So anything I do, I want to be the best at. So whenever I set a goal, it's always high. And I make it to the pinnacle of the sport, and now I got to capture it.
We talked a little bit, we had this question a little bit before, but the sparring partners, obviously it's probably difficult to emulate someone of his stature. So what was the closest you got in a sparring partner as far as height-wise?
I got somebody who was 6'8", I had somebody who was 6'5", somebody 6'4". Just overall trying to get different southpaw looks. Some of them, I mean, like I said, nobody's him, or else they would be in his shoes, right?
Right.
So, we're comfortable with the height.
And I think a lot of the fans love you as a fighter, but also who you are as a person. So describe what inspired you to start your foundation, the Go the Distance Foundation.
This man right here, he took me in, he helped me out. I had so I was working the job, I was working at Walgreens. I had really no money, I couldn't afford to go to the gym. And then he took me into the gym, he told me if I would train the kids, then he would train me. And then that's what I did. I got better at boxing. I fell in love with training the kids, and so I started my own youth group to do what he did for me.
Well, we all really appreciate that, and it's amazing what you do to give back. Let's head to Ramos. How did you get started in boxing? Obviously, we know it runs in your blood, but was it because of your uncle, or was it something else that inspired you?
Yeah, I would say because of my dad and my uncle. You know, they were my uncle was trained in my garage, so I was always watching them, and I just fell in love with the sport at a very young age.
We're seeing now so many incredible fighters come out of Arizona. We've got you, we've got Elijah, we've got Benavidez. What makes Arizona so great for training these superstars?
I think we have a lot of talent in Arizona. I think you know, we have a lot of talent, and we just needed the exposure. And we started getting it with David Benavidez, and now we're featured on bigger cards, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Potential Golden State of boxing over there. Shram. Let's see what they have to say. We would love to know, where were you at when you got the call for this fight? Obviously, it was very short notice, and how long did it take you to decide to take the fight with Ramos?
Contanos que dónde estabas cuando recibiste la llamada para esta pelea y qué tanto tiempo te tardaste en decir, sí, quiero esta pelea.
Estaba entrenando acá en Los Ángeles, así que estaba listo y solamente le dije sí. ¿Tienes alguna duda? Le dije a mi entrenador cuando me dijo que salió esta pelea, le digo, sí, por supuesto que sí, sin ninguna duda.
Well, I was training in LA actually, so I was ready from the get-go. And so when my trainer got the call, he was like, hey, we got this offer. You game? And I told my trainer, yeah, you have any doubts? He was like, no, let's do it. So I was like, okay, let's get it on.
Amazing. Garcia, the fans were curious what you're planning to show on Saturday coming off of a defeat. What are you planning to show for the bounce back?
I think if I put on a better performance than last time, I'll be fine. I don't know what you want me to do.
Okay, great. So you're 21 years old. It's super admirable what you've done. The fans are wondering, how does it feel to be on such big cards at such a young age? How do you handle that pressure?
To be honest, the first time I was up here, I was kind of nervous and all that stuff, but you get used to it. It's part of the job, so you gotta learn. You know what I mean?
If you're already used to it at 21, I'm so excited to see where you're going to go in the sport. Michelle, now we'll go to you. Do you still stay in touch with your Olympic teammates? Does it motivate you to see how successful they've become?
Of course, we keep in touch sometimes, but we all busy with our careers and stuff like that. But every time we see each other, it's always love, for sure.
And what does it say about your mentality? You're one of those fighters that just takes every fight at the top of the top. What does that say about your mentality?
It's just the way I am. This is where I was brought up. I come from a rough background, and we came back down. So this is how I'm coming.
Well, thank you, fans, for submitting all these amazing questions. We're so excited to see you guys fight on Saturday, and good luck.
Thank you, Kinsey, and I want to thank all the fans for sending in all of their questions here for our press conference. One more time, you guys do not want to miss this card. PBC Championship Boxing on Prime Video, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, from Michelob Ultra Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, from Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. It all goes down this Saturday, March 22nd. You do not want to miss it. Now we'll have our fighters pose for photos, and